So this section is 5.6, division of polynomials, where we're learning how to divide by a monomial. And so we need to first remember how we add and subtract fractions. So if we go back to the basics of fractions, okay, if we have a over d and another fraction is b over d, then we could combine these two fractions because they have the same denominator as a plus b over d. And since we can combine it to look like this, we can actually go back the other way and break it up into this fraction. So for example, if we did it with numbers, if I had 3/4 and I'm going to add it to let's say 1/4, okay, then it would be 3 plus 1 over 4. And so I can go the other way as well. So if I had 3 plus 1 over 4, then I could break it up into two fractions as 3/4 plus 1/4. And this works for subtraction as well. So that means we could do that with variables as well. So let's take a look at some of those. Let's say you have a to the 5th plus a to the 3rd, and that's all divided by a to the 2nd. We can break that up into two separate fractions, a to the 5th over a to the 2nd plus a to the 3rd over a to the 2nd. And then we could simplify individual fractions because I can take the 2 and subtract it. So that gives me a to the 3rd. And then I could do the same thing here. I get just a. So I have a simplified version of what this complex fraction really looks like. Let's do another one. Let's say it's 5x, and that's to the 4th power, plus 10x, and that's all divided by 10x. Okay. We separate it into two fractions. Okay. And then we simplify. Well, I know that I can divide 5 out of top and bottom on this fraction, so that makes it 1 over 5. Right? Oh, actually 2. So that could be a 2. Right? Because if I divide 5 out of 10, I get 2. So that was a mistake. Okay, so that would be 2. And then this is a 1, right? And this is a 4, so I'd minus 1. So that gives me x to the 3rd, right? No, it does not. Let's start again. Okay, let's start all over again. Okay. So again, I can divide 5 out of both of these, so that's 1 over 2. And then this 1 comes up, and so 4 minus 1 is 3, so that would make it x in the numerator to the 3rd. And then we have plus, and then 10 divided by 10 is 1, and x divided by x is 1, so I have 1. So I basically have x to the 3rd over 2 plus 1. And that's how you do some of these problems. Let's do another one. Let's say you have 3 terms in the numerator. Let's say it's 3y squared plus 2y minus 12, and that's all divided by 6y. Again, we separate it up into 3 fractions. So that's 3y squared divided by 6y. And then we have 2y over 6y. And then I have 12 over 6y. So basically the 6 is going to every numerator term. So now I can simplify, dividing 3 out of both the 3 and the 6. So that gives me 1 over 3. So, and then I know this is a 1, so I can subtract that and I get just y. Okay, my next fraction, I can divide 2 out of the 2 and the 6, so that gives me 1 over 3. This is a 1 and this is a 1. So that cancels each other because I minus 1. So that gives me just 1 in the numerator. Okay? And then this should be a minus sign. I don't know why I decided it was going to be a plus. Okay? So this is a minus sign here. And so we can divide 6 out of the 12 and the 6. So that gives me 2. And nothing can be done with the y. So here's my final answer. Y over 3 plus 1/3 minus 2 over y. So it gives you a good idea of how these problems play out. And we'll do some more in the next section.